Continuing our team coverage now on the man found dead in that burning home. KEZI 9 News reporter Sid Dutcher talked to those who knew the victim, George Wasson, and the connection between him and the suspect, Ricardo Chaney. She's also live on Elk Avenue to share what she's learned. Sid?
Brian, as Jessica said, police have confirmed that it's George Wasson who was found dead inside this home behind me. Although Ricardo Chaney did also live in the neighborhood, Elk Avenue neighbors who I spoke to said they did not recognize him. Neighbors I've spoke to say that Wasson was a nice and friendly man, and he lived in this home for several decades where friends and loved ones have started to gather.
He was a very, very nice guy and very quiet and calm, always smiling, yes.
Caroline Burgle-Haida says she lived on Elk Avenue for more than 50 years, and George Wasson lived across the street from her. She says she and her husband actually went to Wasson's University of Oregon PhD thesis defense.
And the title was What It's Like to Grow Up as an Indian in the United States.
Wasson was an elder of the Coquille Indian tribe, and many neighbors say he was very proud of his heritage. Caroline says he was always working with his hands.
So he was a very handy man.
Yeah.
He had a garden. He liked to use his grandmother's recipes. He made wonderful jam and sauces for meat and stuff like that.
Caroline says though Wasson was quiet, he was a great neighbor.
Very helpful to the neighbors. He had the person next to us across the street from George immediately was ill, and she would frequently fall, and George, she'd always call and he'd help her up.
She was shocked to hear her longtime neighbor has been murdered. Now, as we mentioned, Ricardo Chaney also lived in this neighborhood just around the block, but police still have not told us what the connection between him and Wasson is. But what I did learn from a neighbor today is that Chaney's father was also a professor of anthropology at the U of O, just like Wasson. He died in 1989. Live in Eugene, Sid Dutcher, KZI 9 News.